Why do we overlook red flags? Why do we bypass the gut feeling, that instinctual knowing that this person right here is not for us, whether it be a potential toxic relationship dynamic or just a straight up boring, dry, and lifeless relationship, right? There is no chemistry, there's no connection there, or on the other side, it's going to be completely destructive. Why is it that we overlook the indicators that are showing themselves time and time again, but instead bypass them, jump into the relationship anyway? Well, I believe that this is a necessary question to answer, especially in a generation where we are so inundated with information. Everybody's telling us of what to look for in a relationship and, what the most important things are. And most of those focuses are external. And so I wanted to bring it back a little bit, get us a reality check and get honest with ourselves. And as opposed to getting into this victimhood narrative of they're doing it to me, my picker is broken, they deceived me, they were showing a different version of themselves, instead of pointing outward to get ourselves to a place where we are truly based in our true power. And when we base ourselves within that interpersonal power, right? When we do that internal work, we can discern life in a very different way. We can see things for what they are, and we can make our decisions accordingly. So you won't get tricked, you won't get fooled, you will not be bamboozled. Instead, you will see exactly what you need to see and hopefully make the best decision for yourself, as well as those around you, because relationships don't just affect ourselves, right? Some of us, you got babies at the house or whatever it may be. So that being said, let's get into the 6. And by the way, I only did 6 because I didn't want to get through a laundry list, right? And with these 6 reasons why we ignore red flags, you can pretty much sum it up with every single other reason out there, right? All 666 or whatever it may be. Don't worry, I ain't with the Illuminati. Relax. So, reason number 1 why we ignore red flags. You're desperate or thirsty for a relationship, so you will overlook whatever's in front of you. Look, desperation is a powerful force. Desperation will lead you to do things that are against your own good. For example, if you are desperate for a meal, if you are starving, genuinely starving, you are desperate to eat, you will eat rotting food. You will dive into a trash can or you will scavenge the streets in order to get any sort of substance, even if that means it's going to make you ill after the fact. Your body is going to kick into fight or flight, freeze, fawn, whatever other F's they may add to that. And you will find yourself in a state of absolute desperation to the point where you will do just about anything to keep your body moving, to keep your body going, even if it will work against your greatest good. And this shows up in relationship dynamics far too often, right? More often than I would like to see. But again, we are where we are. We're growing, we're learning, we're evolving. But we find ourselves getting into relationships simply because we feel alone. We feel as if we're not in a relationship, we'll never be in a relationship. If we're not in a relationship, that means something about us, right? We're not worthy for a relationship. So anybody who will show us any sort of attention, anybody who will, show us even the slightest bit of relational interest, we jump right into the relationship, not even thinking twice about it. It's somebody and anything will do. Just like that rotting food, you will get yourself into a rotten relationship because you are desperate. So that's the first reason. Desperation. Number 2, you place a physical attraction over a person's character. You place physical attractiveness over character. This one right here is fundamental. And this is one that I have started taking deep dives into, this thing of character. Who are you behind closed doors? Who are you when nobody's looking, right? Because in this generation, it's all about what everybody else sees. What do people perceive of me? How do people believe that I move through the world? What do people think that I have going on, as opposed to who am I when nobody is there? And so we look at the physical. We are so attracted and enamored with how a person looks, what glitters in front of our eyes, as opposed to realizing and accepting that behind that mirage, behind that spray painted on gold, is nothing more than a dumpster. Now, I'm not calling the person a dumpster, but the relationship dynamic will be nothing better than a dumpster, or as some people say in the US, a dumpster fire, right? Which is the worst kind of dumpster. You just got fumes all over. You just got garbage juice fumes all over the environment. And so you find yourself falling for people, getting into situationship after situationship. I wouldn't even call it a relationship, because that's doing a disservice to the word relationship. You get yourself into these situationships where your only indicator of who this person is how they look. And I've seen this dynamic play out so often in this generation specifically, where somebody will say, well, he's fine or she's fine, she's thick. That's why I got with her. He's over 6 feet. That's why, I had to lock that down. And there's nothing else there. They don't vet for the person's character. They don't look for any internal aspects of who they are. And then all of a sudden you end up in this toxic relationship and now you're the victim in the story, right? So we really have to start to peep this one. That physical attraction, trust me. And some people think, oh, I'm a good looking guy. Some people do, some people don't. It is what it is. But I even say, look at me. Don't judge me off of how I look. Please don't. Please watch how I really move, because that's the only thing that's ever going to matter for any of us. There are some people who are good looking and have character, and there are a lot who don't. You understand me? So we really have to take this one to heart. Number 3, your past trauma leads you to see chaos as normal or acceptable. This one is vital. This one is actually, it is central. And that's why I had to put it in the middle. It is number 3 for a reason. Inner work is everything and every other thing, right? The shadow work, the introspection, this healing journey, or what I call the wholeness journey, is vital. You cannot skip this. You cannot overlook it, and you can't undermine its importance. If you do not do this work, you will easily step into the rest of your life with the belief system that is rooted in your past, in your infancy, in times in which you had no control over what was being programmed into you. And most of us are holding on to toxic belief systems, destructive belief systems that are not serving us in the lives that we are now leading. And so we find ourselves, let's say, being raised in a chaotic environment. We see chaos as normal. We see chaos as acceptable. And so we will continue to perpetuate that chaos within our lives, within our relationship dynamics, and wonder why we're getting the results that we're getting. Go figure. So if you are seeing chaos as normal, you will inherently look at red flags and see them as go signs, right? You'll see stop and you'll think go. Because when you were being raised, when you're seeing or observing your environment, maybe it was even media that you were consuming, whatever messages were being programmed into your subconscious mind, you were taking on this story of chaos is normal. And a lot of us in this world, in this society, we think chaotic, destructive ways of life is normal. We think insecurity is normal when in fact it is unnatural. Yes, it may be the norm because we've normalized this insanity, but that doesn't make it natural. Number 4, you have a guilt conscience that leads you to be a people pleaser who can't say no. Now look, this one hits so close to home that I wrote a whole book about it. Okay? Doing Me Guilt Free. Make sure to get your copy by clicking the link below. I wrote a book about this one because the guilt consciousness will lead us to do things that lead to our absolute destruction every single time. And when you're raised on this belief system that I am wrong, or I'm doing something wrong constantly, or again, shame, which is I am wrong, something is wrong with me, you will continue to self-sabotage and you will continue to people please in order to gain a sense of validation, in order to get a sense of I am worthy, I'm good enough now. And you will continuously go out of your way to try to be this person, to masquerade yourself as whatever people need you to be in order for you to feel as if you are valid in this life. And so we will overlook red flags when we get to a place where we are living from a state of guilt, therefore people pleasing. And so we will think, man, I can't just abandon this person. I can't leave this person, And so we're looking for ways to prove ourselves, or we'll get with an individual who is unpleasable, right? We will manifest that belief system of unworthiness by getting ourselves into relationships where the people we're with are simply unpleasable. And guess what? That math ain't gonna math. Number 5, you have a savior complex and feel the need to save every damn body. This one is tied directly into the people pleaser. When you have this mentality that I'm here to save everybody, I need to save everybody from their problems, I need to save everybody from the things going on in their life, save people from themselves, you will inherently find yourself looking for quote unquote broken people, right? That's going to be the best project for you, the best exploration of how good a savior you are. The more broken the person is, the better savior you are. And so if you were indoctrinated to believe that it is your job to save the world, to put on a mask and a cape and to go out there as a vigilante and to put your arms on your side and to look out to say who out there, needs my saving services, you're going to find yourself in toxic relationship dynamics where red flags become green flags. They become indicators to go. As my homegirl, Carrie Nicole says, what she said in her poem, she said, when those red flags become white flags of surrender, boom, you done surrendered your whole self right there. You done lost yourself completely in a matter of an instant. all because you were trying to save somebody. Now you end up in a situation where 20, 30 years down the road, all your saving efforts have led you to destroy your very own self. Number 6, you're prideful. So pride is an interesting subject matter. You know, I grew up in the church, so the word pride was oftentimes connotated with conceit, with selfishness, with self-righteousness, etc. But the way I see it is actually a little deeper than that. I believe pride is a manifestation of fear. When you are afraid, you become proud. So you can't take no, or you can't be wrong, right? You always have to be right. You need to preserve and protect your ego. That's what pride truly is at its core. And so when you are prideful, you will get in a situation, people tell you that's not right. You shouldn't do that. Because sometimes people act as the indicator for the red flag, right? Universe will send us people who are there to tell us, hey, that ain't it, buddy. Don't do that one. No, that one right there, that's trouble. And you think to yourself, no, 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 I'm going to do what I want. I'm going to do what I want. You might even know, inherently, intrinsically, that this ain't it. This is wrong for you. This is going to end up in destruction. But yet you step into it anyway. You do what you quote unquote want to do because you're prideful. You are afraid of being wrong. You're afraid of, damn, maybe I made a mistake here. Maybe I took a misstep. As opposed to owning up to it, you're just going to continue to perpetuate the very same problem and get the very same result. Simple as that. So I'm gonna go through this list one more again, just so we get a little refresher on what we just went through. Again, these are the 6 reasons why you ignore red flags, even though you see them clearly, or sometimes at subconscious level, at the very least, you know that something is off. The math is not mathematicking. So, before that, one more plug. Why? Because I can. Of my first published book, Doing Me Guilt Free. Make sure to get yourself a copy by clicking the link in the description. So let's get through these one more time. Number 1, you're desperate for a relationship or thirsty for a relationship and will therefore overlook what is right in front of you. Number 2, you place physical attraction over true character of an individual. That ain't it. Number 3, your past traumas lead you to see chaos as normal or acceptable. Do the work. I got multiple videos, content. That's what the book is about. Every book I put out, everything is going to be talking about how to do that intrinsic internal work. Number 4, you have a guilt conscience that leads you to be a people pleaser who cannot say no. Learn that word. Learn it in as many languages as you can. Learn to enunciate it as often as you can. Use it on a daily basis. No. Number 5, you have a savior complex and you feel the need to save every damn body. You feel it's your job to put on the mask, the cape, the goddamn tights, all of that, to go out there into the city of Gotham and to save every damn body. And number 6, you're prideful and feel the need to do what others say you shouldn't simply because they said so or you said so. You're full of pride. We got to let it go. So anyway, appreciate you guys for tuning in, tapping in, being all the way turned up. Till the next time, namaste, namasko.